Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chelloveck Movies. My name is John and this video is going to be an unboxing of a package I've received off my good friend Michael Hewett. Now Michael has sent me a few things in the post and I've always been blown away by what he sent us. I'll leave a link down to the other things he sent us down below. And I just want to say that again, Michael has put a massive amount of postage on here. I mean, I just really appreciate the fact he's sent a special delivery. And the amount he's put on this this package is just quite phenomenal to make sure it's got to me in the special delivery form. So that's another thing that I'm blown away by, the fact that somebody would send me these things and also take the time out to put a large amount of postage on it to make sure it was got to me safely. So I've got to thank Michael once again for that. So I'm going to open this up and see exactly what's in here. So as I do with all of these packages, I'm just going to pull the stuff out and show you what it is, and I'll see it at the same time as you. And Michael has sent a note in here. It says, "Hi John, just a few more slipcovers for you. As always, you are most welcome to them all. Very best wishes, Michael Hewett." Well, thanks Michael. Like I say, I don't know what's in here. I'm just going to open this package, and very well packaged, of course it is, as Michael always does. I said it before and I'll say it again. When a true collector sends you stuff, you know they're true collectors because of this way that they package the stuff. It's always really well packed. Are you listening, Zavi? Okay, let's take a look and see what slipcovers Michael sent. And I've got to say, once again, thank you, Michael. I really do appreciate this. First up is... actually, The Fifth Wave. Now, I do know about this movie. It's funny because the girl in here, who I'm never going to remember her name, Chloe Grace Moritz, I think she's a great actress, and I've seen her in quite a few movies, and I think she's always been great. And this one was a lovely slipcover. That very nice hard cardboard, which I do like. It's another one of these movies that you see and you think, well, I might check that out, and then I never really seen this in the wild, but I knew that this was a thing. This was a movie that came out because I do see it popping up in quite a few movies, and I think that the performances usually in a movie is absolutely brilliant. I could be wrong, but I think that fella's out of Jurassic World. I'm sure he was a young kid in Jurassic World, I think. So that's The Fifth Wave. Nice. Very nice hard cardboard slipcover, that. Next up is... Going in Style. Now, funny enough, this was one that I used to see in CX. I used to see it in Poundland all the time. And it quite intrigued us because of the cast: Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine, and Alan Arkin. I think they're great actors, these are, and I was really interested to see what they looked like in a movie together. And of course, when you go back to Poundland, it's not there. But this will be a one that I'll see in CX literally all the time. So that'll be one I'll really pick up. I love casts like this. I love when you get ensemble casts of actors that you would never associate with being in the same movie. That's Going in Style. Great. Next is American Sniper. Now, this is one of Deborah's favourite movies, believe it or not. And I'm sure she's got it, but she's got it on DVD. She hasn't got the Blu-ray of it. So what I'll do is I'll pick that up cheap in CX. That'll be a good one to get. And yes, so that's one for Deborah, special edition. So that's a Clint Eastwood movie as well, which is another box ticked as well. I've never seen this movie, but Deborah reckons it's really good, and because it's Clint, I will have to see it. So when this gets bought, I will watch it on Blu-ray, or even if I see that the 4K they're cheap, I can put this over the top of it. So that's American Sniper. Deborah really likes that movie. Next up is, speaking of Deborah's movies that she likes, Taken 2. Now, she's a big fan of the Taken series, and I know she's got this. She's definitely got this, but they've got them all on DVD. And funny enough, I'm having a bit of a Liam Neeson kick at the minute. I think he's a great actor. I always have done think he's a great actor. But this is lovely slipcover, that. I do want to get these myself. I never got around to it, and I will, because these are ones that you see all the time in CX. This is great to have these type of ones where you can just, you can just walk in, even if the slipcover looks like someone's chewed it. You can just pick the movie up cheap, and you can put your slipcover on the top. It looks nice on the shelf. That's Taken 2, extended harder cut. Nice. I've never seen those movies, but Deborah raves about them all the time. Next up is 12 rounds. Now, I have got this movie, and it hasn't got a slip. So that's great, that extended hard cut. From the director of Die Hard 2 and the producer of Speed. Not bad. So is that, yeah, Rennie Harlin. So 12 rounds, where is it? Because I've moved the shelves around quite a bit. It's either up there or it's up there. I'll have a look for that one. But yeah, 12 rounds, that can go on straight away. Excellent. I like John Cena. I've got to admit, I think he's a great actor. I think he's a great actor in certain movies. I think he couldn't do other movies. But the movies I've seen him in, especially The Peacemaker, he's been brilliant. I've seen him in real life, actually. Me, my son, and my wife went to see the wrestlers at the Telly West Arena. It was called at the time. It's now called the arena, the O2 Arena, I think it's called. But it's going to get knocked down, and I think Newcastle Football Ground's going to be there. That's the rumour on the streets anyway of the Toon. But he was great actually, and he had a rap battle off with Eddie Guerrero, and that was the best part of the show actually, when them two got rapping. So yeah, and yes, he is massive in real life as well. Eddie Guerrero is huge as well. The biggest one I've seen out of the wrestlers is Big Show. He was colossal. His head was the size of, I don't know, size of a bin. So wow. Next up is now Skyfall. Now my son's got these on Blu-ray. Now I'm not too sure if he's got these on any form of with slipcovers. But it'd be interesting just to see and just to put them across and just see here, have them and put them on there. So he'll be made up with that one. I have got this one on 4K. The 4K quality I think is quite good on all of them. Although the best one is the last one that he did. But yeah, so Skyfall. Big fans of James Bond in this house. Well, Daniel Craig's James Bond. We are. My wife only likes him. I like him, and I like Roger Moore. Roger Moore is my go-to James Bond. Even though it's very 70s and very cheesy, but I don't mind that. That's I used to go to the pictures and watch them all the time. Used to love them. But I do need to get these watched again, actually, because it's been a while since we watched them. Well, I've watched these quite a lot. Watched these more than any other James Bonds. So that's Skyfall. Probably going to my son. I'll put that in my son's pile over there. Next up is the Sweeney. Now, this is a funny movie. Oh, that's good. Look at the slipcover on that. That's embossing, spot gloss, the whole lot. Now, is that what you right? This fella here, is he Plan B? Now is he called Ben Drew? I don't know. He's a funny guy. He keeps turning up. He keeps turning up in these movies, and then he vanished off the face of the earth, and he came back on a few more songs, but he painted his face white for some reason, and then he vanished off the face of the earth again. I've always been interested to see this. I've heard that it's actually quite good, because I thought, what, they're remaking the Sweeney? No chance. But I do like these British like crime dramas. I'm not really a fan of crime dramas, but British crime dramas where you get the hard men sort of battling it out. I do like them movies, and so yeah, so that'll be interesting to see how these two. I like Ray Winston and everything he's done. I think he can come across like a real hard nut. I think he's probably like that in real life. Not too sure about this fella, how he can do it, because I think I saw him in something else, and I don't know what he was in. It wasn't Harry Brown, but it was something like that, and he came across a bit too false, if I'm going to say that. But anyway, that might have been that particular movie. I didn't think he fitted into it. So yeah, I'd be interested to see that. That's another one for. These are all going to be great ones for CX. Because what I do is I take a photograph of them and I keep it on my phone, so I'm in CX. It reminds us on of what I need to get. I need to have a look out. So these ones will be cheap as well. So it's not as if it's going to break the bank to get these movies. So next up is Geostorm. Good cast: Gerard Butler, Jim Sturgis, Abby Cornish, Ed Harris, and Andy Garcia. Wow. I'm guessing this is one of these end of the world movies. And after an unprecedented series of natural disasters threaten the planet, the world's greatest leaders come together to create an intricate network of satellites to control the global climate. Yeah, that's something I didn't even know this existed. But I'll take a look at it. It's like I say, these are like CX pickups. These are the ones that you find in the CX all the time. And I guess that probably all of these will not have a slip on. And if the slip covers are on, they'll be absolute garbage. But these slipcovers, as all the slipcovers that Michael has sent, are all in perfect condition. So those look great on the shelves, like the other ones that Michael sent us. I put them on one of the ones that need them on. I can put this on today actually. So next up is wow, actually now Terminator 2, wow, T2, Trainspotting 2 is a great film. I was expecting it to be a load of rubbish. I love Trainspotting, but I thought Trainspotting 2, why do they really need it? But I must admit this is a great film. Now I have got this, and I have got it with a slip. It's in my son's collection, but I know for a fact the slip I've got is it's not as good as this at all, and this will look great. Well, it's a great slipcover, I find. I do need to watch this again actually. I was looking at it the other day in my son's room, and I thought I need to get that watched again. So this will go. This is an instant one to put in his shelves. So that's great. Nice bit of embossing there. So Terminator 2, Trainspotting 2. Wow, my eyes. Next up is the BFG. Now, weirdly enough, that's embossing again. I can spot it a mile off actually. I'm blind as a bat, but embossing works for me. Maybe it's a bit like Braille. So this movie, actually my son went to see the pictures to see it with his girlfriend at the time, and he said that he didn't like it at all. And I says, why? He says, well, just because it was like too much like a kids movie. I says, yeah, but it is a kids movie, so what were you expecting? He said, I don't know. But anyway, I do know that I've seen clips of this movie, and I've got to say that the CGI on this big friendly giant, I thought it looked absolutely brilliant. It's another one that you see very rarely actually when I think about it. These are kind of blasts from the pasts. I like these, the fact that these sometimes it reminds you on about a movie and you think, oh yes, I did want to see that, but I never got the chance. These are the ones that I do like to watch because I like to see these type of movies in CGI movies. I think they look really good. And also what I like about this, I'm pretty sure this is a Roald Dahl adaptation, and when I was a kid, I was a big fan of his books. I used to read them all the time, like what's it called, The Magic Finger, Chocolate Factory, Charlie and Chocolate Factory. There's another one as well, something about 5 this, and there was Fantastic Mr. Fox. They were all brilliant. The stuff that they had in it, you know, the drones, the artwork was absolutely brilliant as well. So that's the BFG. I'm sure it's a Spielberg movie. There's no way I'm going to say that, but I'm going to put it up there, see if I can see it blown up there. I can't read that. I think Spielberg's got something to do with it, and usually when he does something, it's good. It's worth a watch, isn't it? Next up is Monsters Inc. Now I don't own this. Oh, look at the Spock. Look at the embossing on that. Excellent. Now this is a great movie. I like these movies. I don't have this one. This is another one that I think I would probably get this on 4K if I saw it cheap in CX, which you do see these things. Sometimes you see them for £2 and £3, which I can't believe, but they are there, so why not? And I would know that this would look absolutely spectacular on 4K. It's the type of thing that 4K, the CGI things always look great on 4K. There's never a bad one. They sound great as well. So that would be an instant pickup. And the greatest thing about them is you can save some money because you don't have to go mooching for a slipcover, you know, or try to get it on eBay and someone's trying to sell you the slipcover for a ridiculous amount of money, because sometimes they're quite limited. So you can just do this, put this over the top, job done. So that's the Monsters Inc. Great film actually. I haven't seen the other ones though. I know there's more. Next is, now this one is funny this because a street cat named Bob. I remember when this came out and I was thinking, what on earth is this about? I've seen him in a few things actually. He's quite a good actor, and I thought, what possibly could this be about? Then I learned a lot more about it. It's meant to be a true story, and I thought, that sounds quite interesting. And I think it's something to do with this fellow who's living in London, and I think it was an actual real story, and I think they've made a second one as well. This one will be the first one. So yeah, so that would be another one that I would pick up and watch, because it was one of the ones that I wanted to see when I found out it was a real story. And I know there's a few people online and I watched the channels, they've talked about this movie and they said it's quite a decent movie as well. So that's good. That's A Street Cat Named Bob. What a title. It's one of those ones when you go, what? Right, next up is, now, a lot of people have told me to get this movie, and there's a couple of times I've seen it in CX, but it's been like ropey, and I think, well, I don't really want to get it if it looks that bad, because sometimes you can get the things on in CX and they look like, I don't know, like someone's put a pair of ice skates on and sort of skate over the top of the disc, and they still sell them to you. So that is an absolutely brilliant cover there. Now this is going to be a one that I'm definitely going to go out my way to pick up. This is one that I've been told, a lot of people have said, you've got to see this movie. They reckon it's absolutely brilliant. Nice spot gloss in there. So this will be a day one purchase when I bump into it. So that's The Descent from the director of Dog Soldiers. And we all know that Dog Soldiers is coming out in 4K soon. Hopefully it'll look really good. So next up is Silent House. Real fear in real time. Now, actually, I think that this is one that was, I'm not too sure if I'm right in thinking, because I can't read this, but yes, hang on. Silent House is told in real time in one continuous take. Well, it won't be, but it'll make it look like that way. Experience every heart-pounding minute with Sarah on the fights for survival. Will you dare enter the house? Now, I don't know what the running time is on this, but yeah, I love the thought of a movie that's shot in one. And I know that when this came out, I thought, that'd be a great one to find. Of course, when you see these things coming out, then you forget about them, then you just go into the ether and they disappear. But this is a few of these things have been a great heads up or reminder to think, oh yes, that movie was something I was after. So yes, so if I can find this one, I will definitely get it. So. And Elizabeth Olsen, great actress. So yes, so I always like the thought of a one-shot movie. That's Silent House. Great. Yeah, I didn't recognise the title, but I thought, hang on a minute, the real-time thing. That reminded me. Next up is Assassin's Creed. Look at that. That's a brilliant lenticular. Now, Assassin's Creed is one of the ones that I saw one of the ones that I first saw on Sky Movies when I got the HD package, or the Ultra HD package. It was one of the first ones you could watch. And I've got to say, the picture quality on here is absolutely amazing. I thought it would be, because remember my son, when he got the PS whatever game for it, he said it was, I used to watch it and he used to think, this is incredible that you can have a game that looked this good. So this is another one that you can find in CEX. It's literally cheap as chips. And I've got no doubt that the 4K will look spectacular and probably sound spectacular. Sometimes you get these movies, and this movie isn't the best of movies, I'm led to believe, even though I've only watched a slight bit of it, because I didn't really understand it, because I was going to go back to it because I didn't understand the ethos of the games, but I never really did. And it's probably you've got to pay for it now. I hate it when you can. I think when someone's on Sky Movies, it should be on there forever, and of course it's not, because streaming doesn't work that way, as you know. So if I'd bought this back in the day, I would have had it anytime I wanted. Well, we all know about that, you know, the story on that one. That's why physical is much better. It's a lovely cover though. So I will track down the 4K of this one. I'll definitely go 4K, not Blu-ray, because I know that the picture quality is that good. And hopefully the story will make some sense to me this time round. That's Assassin's Creed. Lovely cover. Love them lenticulars. Next up is... Now, this is the one that's, look at that, that's brilliant. This is another one of those movies that I always wanted to see and just never got around to it. Now it's funny because there's a different one, isn't there? There's a new one that's got a title like that, with this person who's like a nanny, I think. And I thought it was that one actually, but this one here is a one that I did always want to see. I love the cover of it. It's another one that you'd see a cover and you think, oh, I've got to see that movie. Never got around to it. That's another one that I will... Guillermo.
Where's me ladders?
So I've heard a few people say some good things about this movie. That's Mama. Lovely cover. Next up is, and these you can feel a lenticular when you put your hand in it. You can go, that's got a lenticular, because they've got like a kind of yeah, they've got that feel to them. Next up is right. Now this is I Love 300. I think it's absolutely brilliant, and I've always wanted to see this one. I'm sure my son went to pictures to see it, and I says, oh, what's it like? He says, that's all right. So this is a oh, that's an amazing cover. That see it, very deep. This person stands out. I don't know how it fits into the other one, but I do know that I've always wanted to see it. So that'll be an instant pickup. I'm sure I've seen this quite a few times in CEX as well. Interestingly enough, I think I would probably get, even though I don't have 3D capability, I probably might never have 3D capability. I will probably, if I see the 3D version, I will probably get it to fit into here, because it will have the 2D version in as well. But that's a brilliant cover, and it's one that I'm really interested in seeing. Actually, a few of these are ones that I've remembered, like I've wanted to see, and then just forgotten all about them, because you just do, don't you? And your mind gets focused on other things. So that's amazing. That's 300 Rise of the Empire. I wonder if they'll ever make any more of those. Next up is the girl who kicked the hornet's nest. Now I know I've got the other one from this, which is I can't remember what it is, but it is up there, or is it over there? I'll be moving them around, as you know. Now this is the second one. Yeah, the girl with the dragon tattoo. That's the one I've got. The slipcover I've got. So I need to go and see if I can find these ones out. There's this one as well, and then there's the Played with Fire, and nice slipcover there. Nice bit of embossing. So yes, so this is amazing to have this one here. So this looks like the original trilogy and not the remake trilogy, the American trilogy. So that's the girl who kicked the hornet's nest. Wow. Next up is the Woman in Black. Now, this is a great movie. And the reason why I wanted to watch this, it was because it was a Hammer movie. It was the first time Hammer, the second time Hammer had come back and made a movie. And I thought, wow, Hammer are making a movie. And when I watched it, actually, it did look a little bit like a Hammer film. I haven't seen the other movie of this, but I remember me and my son watched this and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Now, I know my son's got it in his collection over there, and I don't think it's got a slip as well. So this will look really nice over the top of it. And I do think that this movie was quite a good movie. It's not ultra scary, but I think it was very atmospheric, and it did look like a Hammer movie, which is half the bother, isn't it? And Daniel Radcliffe was actually quite good, because I thought, Harry Potter's in it. Because he was really Harry Potter at that time, and I thought, this is not going to work. But I think it worked quite well, actually. And he's a much better actor than you give credit for when you see him in Harry Potter, and you think maybe that's all he can do. But I think he's proved that he can be a lot more diverse than just Harry Potter. So that's The Woman in Black. Really good movie, actually. Underrated, I find. Next up is Haywire. Now, this looks like a very cheap action movie, which I like. I like these, for some reason I just like these movies. I think you can put them on and just have a good time with them. So listen to this cast. It says it from the director of Ocean's 11, so that's not too bad. You've got Gina Carano, Michael Fassbender, Ewan McGregor, Bill Paxton, Channing Tatum, with Antonio Banderas, so he'll be in for 10 seconds, and Michael Douglas, he'll be in for 10 seconds. Now, never heard tell of this movie at all, but with that cast and the fact that the director of Ocean's 11, I think that's going to be quite a good little movie if I can track it down. So that's a lovely slip as well. So that's Haywire. And finally is wow, The Girl on the Train. Now, this was one that a lot of people started raving about, and I thought, I don't know what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be kind of, like a weepy drama thing. But the fact is that it's got Emily Blunt in it, makes me think that's a definite pickup for me. But when I look at it there, it looks a bit more like a sort of, like a bit of a suspenseful thriller. Now, I did want to see it after I realised that Emily Blunt was in it. It was one of the ones that I thought, we'll get that one and we'll give it a chance, because a lot of people did speak very highly of it. But of course, you forget about it. And here you are, Michael, you've reminded me about this movie, so I will definitely, this is one of the ones I will really definitely try to seek out in CX. Wow, that's absolutely brilliant. So once again, Michael, I can't thank you enough for this. What I'm going to do is now I'm going to quickly go and see if there's any in my collection or my son's collection that I can put some of these slips on. So back in a second. So these are the slip covers I've used straight away. First up is Skyfall. This is from my son's collection. Now, my son did have a slipcover on here, but what he had was he had a lot of sticky residue on this side for some reason. and this one is in perfect condition, so that'll go on his shelf, and it'll mean that he doesn't have to, when he pulls this one out, he pulls the one in front of it out, which is Quantum of Solace. So that'll look excellent on the shelf, and that'll be made up with that, the fact that that is now not got that glow on it. So that's Skyfall. Also, he didn't have a slipcover for The Woman in Black, so this goes on there now. Great. Just think they'll look much more neater on the shelves. And this is a great movie, I think. It's not ultra scary, but I just think as a 12 as well. It's not gory or anything like that. It's just a quite suspenseful drama, shall we say. So yeah, that's another great addition to my son's collection. That's The Woman in Black. Next up is Trainspotting 2. Now, my son's one that he got from CX, and I remember that it had a big sticker mark there, and he couldn't get the sticker mark off. That was the problem with it. I thought that actually it was a bit more wrecked than it was, but that whole thing now there is just gone. This is in perfect condition. So my son will be made up of those upgrades for sure, Michael. Brilliant. So the one I've upgraded at this point is 12 rounds. Now, this is actually John Hall gave us this one a while ago, and I haven't watched it yet, believe it or not. And it's one of those ones where I thought me and Deborah will watch this one because she's a big fan of John Cena as well. Now this actually is the US Blu-ray. This is a UK box, and I thought, oh, they're not going to fit. But to be honest, it's pretty good. It's not far off at all. So it's a little bit loose, but not too loose. So that's great to have that on the shelf now. That'll go back where it was. So looks much better on the shelf, I think. Now this says extended harder cut, and this says extreme cut. So I think they're both probably the same cuts. I can't imagine them to be any more extra in the US one, but you never know. It could be. So that's amazing. So thanks once again, Michael, for all them slip covers. There's the ones I've upgraded thus far, and I will be going checking a lot of that stuff out in CX, as I always do, when I can get these things, and I can see them cheap in CX. It's an instant pickup, and they look great in the shelves. So thanks once again, Michael. It's really amazing to have that sort of selection to help me out when I go to CX and I get these movies cheap, and I can put them on the shelves and I can give them a good watch. And some of those slipcovers there were movies I've been after for quite a while, actually, and you've reminded me about these movies as well. So thanks for watching, especially you, Michael. You take care, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.
Chicken! 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 Chicken!